Chat, here we go. We got the 4th round of Swiss. It's Joreuz and oKhaliD, both with 1 loss, and both with a loss to Moxie. So Moxie sending them down into this final round, or not this final round, the second to final round. Winner of this best of 3 moves on, and the loser, one of either Joreuz or oKhaliD, going to have to play one final series in order to make it to the playoffs. oKhaliD able to take down Dark in the round previous to this one. Can he continue that sort of streak and take down EU's #1 player right now? Not just right now, but for a long time. But he proved it yesterday in the EU Pro Drops. And he's now facing one of his rivals, but from the Middle East, in oKhaliD. oKhaliD gets to come off of a bit of momentum after his game win, whereas Joreuz having to recover from a loss. He'll still be playing just fine, up 2-0. Wasn't Dark eliminated the other day? That's a good question. Raziers and Ashley both had to drop out, so Dark and Loralee replaced them. Dark dropping to the 1 and 2 round. I believe Loralee is already eliminated, went out 0-3. oKhaliD, solid save. Might be able to slot top left, but I could also just give it a ton of power, and it doesn't really matter. It looked like he was going to try and aim for that opposite post. Joreuz maybe prepping for that. It's almost more awkward to save it when it goes directly behind him. oKhaliD, immediate kickoff goal, and he has tied it right back up. Can't remember the last time you saw oKhaliD on the orange side. Does oKhaliD usually play on the blue team? These guys created the lobby and picked the colors themselves. Joreuz going blue. I think Joreuz, I've been putting the higher seed on the blue side, so Joreuz actually went to the side I would have put him on as well. Maybe the reason why you see him so much in the blue is because he's normally the higher seed, which I think in general goes to blue team. All these streams, give you a break? No, no breaks. No rest this week. This is the hardcore week for sure. So we have just been grinding matches. But hey, the fans are winners. And I say blame Psyonix for creating the windows to run other stuff be so small. Great 50. Great defensive effort by Joreuz. Keeping oKhaliD out. Not an easy thing to do. oKhaliD side flipping into that challenge and using up all his boost. Why is blue preferred? You know, blue, I mean, I think in general players or humans like blue more than orange. I think that's one thing. But it's also just on the left. So I think of it like, you know, when you're reading left to right, it's like what seed do you put first? You put the best seed? Blue team's on the left? I don't know. It's just blue has always been the higher seed. But what RLCS has done recently, per, I believe, some requests from the audience, and good request at that, is they've started to match the team colors. So it's like, just because FaZe is the 1 seed, you know, they're still going to go on the orange team because they're red, you know? And it's makes a bit more sense, especially if they're going against, I don't know, I can't think of a blue team for some reason off the top of my head, but that's true. Arabic is red from right to left. Orange is heavier. Yeah, I'm sure if you ask the players, they would tell you that certain colors are not nearly as good. The color battle that is most prevalent on my stream is Rawas Moxie. Those two are always fighting. For a while, I could swear they were fighting for orange, and orange won most of the games. But recently, they fight for blue, to the point where I asked Rawas if he wanted to play a show match. I hadn't even told him who he was playing against. He said, "Yes, I want blue." He's like, "I'll play, but only if I get blue," basically. And then I asked Moxie later, and he only ever said he wanted blue once he was in the lobby. I'm like, "Oh, dude, you're not playing the same game as Rawas, man. He is calling the blue team before I even send him the DM." Joreuz and oKhaliD right now tied 4-4. Both have looked solid today. I would have said that this is no surprise to see Moxie, you know, coming out on top against both these players. But we did see the way Joreuz has played recently that almost was a bit of a surprise that Moxie bounced back. oKhaliD we haven't seen in the ones game as much recently, but ridiculous to ever doubt this player. Nice demo and be a ton of space for oKhaliD. He can go to whatever he wants here. And he's just going to pop the ball immediately. He sees Joreuz turning to close the distance. And so instead of going to the carry that I think he was trying to set up, he makes the read that it's better to immediately pop the ball with a diving opponent. oKhaliD, he has added the aerial game to his repertoire. Look at that. I knew he had a good chance of scoring this opportunity. There was once a time where oKhaliD bounce dribbled his way to victory against everybody he played, but he has long since been in the lab working to add shots like that, and he has fully mastered them now. 6-4 with a minute left to go on the reigning EU champ. Booming it off the top of the backboard and then finding the top right. Look at this game of keep away that oKhaliD is playing. He sees Joreuz, who is hoping he can get a save and clear right away. But oKhaliD doesn't look for a net, not until he knows there will be no Joreuz in the way. Kickoff win for Joreuz. Bit of an awkward ball, though, in terms of taking the wall to air dribbles that I know Joreuz loves, but actually oKhaliD didn't pressure right away, which is what I was expecting from this slight roll. oKhaliD could move towards the ball and make Joreuz's life difficult, but instead he went all the way to net and shadowed and then even reversed into the challenge, which is tough to come out on the top of. Joreuz with the patience just rolls it underneath. oKhaliD, weak touch. I think he was going for a power shot bottom right, and he just got the softest touch I've ever seen from him. Joreuz working his way back. 38 seconds. oKhaliD needs to try and hold him off. Joreuz and Moxie, the two players who make it through. The two players who won the swamp. They're both coming through, or won. They can't both win. The two players that were in the final for the swamp, which is the last similar tournament that we ran. That one didn't include oKhaliD or Joreuz, but Moxie and Joreuz showing that they can do it with them. I also don't think it included Drally. There's a few players that, you know, have been playing at the top level around that time, and people could argue that Moxie and Joreuz only did it because there was no one else, but they proved here today that they are just the best of the best. oKhaliD plays some very smart keep away. The one's veteran knows with a 1-goal lead, no reason to give it to Joreuz. I'll just drive it into my half, and wait a second. Oh, I thought Joreuz did it. He needed to get underneath the ball. He got oKhaliD to miss, but he didn't have enough boost to finish it off. oKhaliD will take the early lead in this best of 3. Remember, YouTube, every subscription for the next month adds $1 to the prize pool at the end of the year. So please subscribe. The game takes so long to start when there's a ton of players in the lobby. Joreuz and oKhaliD. Game number 2. Joreuz coming off the back of an impressive tournament win. Could he be sent all the way to round 5 of the Swiss here? oKhaliD wants to be the one to do so. Joreuz getting his first of this game number 2. Nice demo on the back wall. People in the Netherlands are basically playing on LAN at all times. They're completely used to the eventual LAN they'll be playing here in early December. Oxygen has looked really well, really solid, and so has the Falcons. The Falcons have looked good. Fortunately, for the Feer fans who have been following Rule 1 throughout the whole season, they looked like definitely the better team in that final regional. Rule 1 trying to make the Falcons squad sweat And it seems like Rule 1 Roas is at least able to do it here in this 1v1 tournament. And Rule 1 Clears is in the tournament as well. I wonder how it's going for him. I think he might have won his most recent round. So he's in another one of these 2-in-1 rounds with the opportunity to fight his way into the playoffs. oKhaliD air dribble, does get saved, but he's able to follow it up still. We saw Joreuz playing Fennec before, am I right? I think we saw him playing Fennec in the previous game. He's in the Octane now. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong about that. I've watched 300 Rocket League games in the past 2 days, so I could have been thinking about a different game that Joreuz played in. Nice challenge. I mean, oKhaliD actually kind of a poor dribble. Very susceptible to it being stolen. And Joreuz does exactly that. oKhaliD kick up win into this corner. Pops it to himself. Joreuz keeps his momentum with the few pads he has to make a really high-speed challenge in an attempt to get the ball launched out of his half. Doesn't succeed, but now he's got the ball as oKhaliD can't finish the play. Joreuz, a really tough first touch to make work, but he is Joreuz at the end of the day. Goes with catching the ball and cutting it towards the net, but Joreuz, an own goal. He's throwing a nice one. oKhaliD says thanks. I'm not sure if he's roasting himself or he actually genuinely thinks that this tap from oKhaliD is especially nice. I have to feel like he's probably roasting himself a bit. For shadowing a bit too close there and then slamming it in his own net. Long shots. Should not be in. It's going to be about whether or not Joreuz can stick with this ball after the save. oKhaliD actually just chipped it right to him, but stayed on ball. Almost able to steal that right back. He's looking for the demo. Doesn't get the demo or the boost, and Joreuz will get the goal because of it. I mean, if oKhaliD gets one or the other, there's a good chance that that play ends up with him scoring, but man, a few pixels off. So Joreuz will be the one to go up 3-2. oKhaliD, dangerous bounce dribble. You don't want to see him bouncing the ball towards your net. He is so smart with this play. And Joreuz tried to pre-jump it. Doesn't matter. oKhaliD will just cut it away from the angle that Joreuz took. Tie up the game. oKhaliD going to be allowed to let this ball come all the way to the ground. Great slot. Threatening that near post by coming on that left side of the ball from oKhaliD's perspective. Now the right side of the ball for Joreuz. You see, he has to respect it. As soon as he realizes that it's actually going to be a bottom left shot, it's too late while in reverse to make that play. oKhaliD now back in the lead. On the verge of putting Joreuz down to round 5. Is there a world in which Joreuz doesn't make it through the Swiss after winning the last tournament? He says no, as he's going to grab a 4th goal and inch his way just a little bit closer. Is the loser of this eliminated? No. The winner moves on to the next day. The loser has one more life. Both these guys only one loss. Like I said, both of them losing to Moxie. Stop jinxing oKhaliD. If oKhaliD was affected by a simple comment on the stream, he wouldn't be a multiple-time tournament winner. Interesting bump from oKhaliD as he tries to get back to the ball. I'm not sure he intended to, but Joreuz just happened to fall in his way. oKhaliD has seemed to be pretty effective once he gets Joreuz in net at breaking him down. Right now, seems inevitable that he's going to get a good scoring chance, even though Joreuz is trying to make some plays around the midfield. oKhaliD gets to his spot, and what a save from Joreuz. Able to use the post and the crossbar as a bit of assist But he keeps it out. oKhaliD not able to get back to the ball before Joreuz's recovery because, I mean, on the goal line, all it needed was a little bit of a tap and it would have gone through. Joreuz had it all on that save. Minute left. oKhaliD decides to just leave and not get the ball. He didn't like maybe how high that was rolling, and so he thought that his better option was to just see if he could demo and steal Joreuz's boost because he could probably just go from there. And he didn't do that, though. oKhaliD now, bounce dribble. Joreuz has to be worried. Look at the shot. Another save from Joreuz. Absolutely absurd save. Joreuz refuses to lose. Another well-placed shot by oKhaliD. Joreuz keeps it out. oKhaliD, the barrage, finally makes its way through. oKhaliD, 5-4. CRR, thank you for the raid. I think CRR was in a 2-1 game, so I have to imagine that this raid comes at the end of a qualifying for the bracket. Kalir's swept rally. Kalir's looking good. oKhaliD with control of the ball. 5-4, 20 seconds left. Air dribble. He's going to go for the safest option, surely, which would be a 50. And one that leaves him with a decent amount of boost, but he's actually still in a tough spot. Joreuz is very good from here. oKhaliD saves it off the crossbar. Last shot attempt for Joreuz. Can he force overtime and not go to round 5? It doesn't seem like he can unless he can get underneath this. Oh, great bounce for him to keep him alive, but still, it will be oKhaliD who moves on. 2-0 in this best of 3 against Joreuz. Joreuz one last life to make it to the playoffs.